I'm not doing this because I want to. So if anybody is listening and thinks that my podcast is stupid, then they're right, and I agree. So I also think it's stupid. So if you say it's dumb and you hate it, then I'm already okay with it because I also think so. And I'm not even doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because I'm getting paid to do it by a company that likes podcasts to be made. Even though there aren't any advertisements on this show, I get paid because once I get to 50 episodes, then I'm gonna get all these hits. So if you don't like this show and you think it's embarrassing and you think it isn't any good and it's not funny, or you think there's something wrong with my mind or something, or you think I'm lame or something, then, or you think that it's boring, or you think that my voice, I'm making up a voice and this isn't my real voice because it sounds too weird to be real, or you believe that it's my real voice but you think it's lame because you think my cheeks are shaped funny because that's how my voice sounds and maybe just have some kind of cheek thing, well then I agree and it's not even a problem, and you can keep thinking that and I'll agree with you, and the two of us we have a lot in common. I have a lot in common with everyone, all my critics. I know that these episodes aren't the best, This American Life, I don't even know if that's a podcast. It doesn't matter to me. This isn't like Radio Lab. I know this is kind of a skeleton crew, and I know it's not easy to listen to sometimes, but I mean, all I'm saying is that if you think that this is a stupid show and you think it's totally dumb and you hate it, then you're in good company, because I also hate this show and it sucks, and like I don't even know why I even do it. I just do it for the money, and I think I'm so clever even though I'm totally not, and there's all kinds of things I'm not even thinking about when I'm making this show. It's just like I'm just not even thinking correctly about all kinds of stuff, and I'm just such a bad podcast dude, and I'm not even good at anything. And if you think all that stuff, then you're right. You're correct about me. And every bad thing you think about me is true. Even the things that are inconsistent, like you think that these podcasts are really self-indulgent of me, but you also think that I should do more to make them good, or I should be more real or something. I guess all those are consistent. I'm trying really hard to think of two criticisms that could be cast against the Flight of the 50 Fancies that would be inconsistent. Like, I'm not being honest, but I'm also too sincere. I don't know. All I know is that you're right. Whatever you think about this show, no one's wrong about this show, because the customer is always right, and anybody listening to this show is as far as I'm concerned, you're giving me some time here. You're giving me 20 minutes of your day, or in many cases 20 seconds of your day before you tune out and you decide to put on one of the shows that isn't run by a total fraud kind of thing, like a Prairie Home Companion, which is 2 hours long instead of 20 minutes. And all I ever do is talk about stuff that only I care about, like myself. And I'm the only constant on all the shows. Like, no one else is on the show except me, except a couple times. Like, up next we're going to have some cool guests that are actually, other people, and not just me doing funny voices. Which I know is, I know everything about it that you were thinking, because I'm just so cool and I'm just psychic or whatever. But no, I realize all the dumb things about this show, and I realize that the ways that I've been making myself clear to you, kind of the little bit of the secret code I had with my viewers about how I know all the things about my show, even though it might seem like I don't know the way you're thinking, but I do know. I know that most of the things I say are kind of a little bit embarrassing. They're either too sincere or not sincere enough. Like, I'm talking like McDonald's commercial sincere, where the person, like the dad and his son, are like, oh, you get back from the ball game, and then McDonald's jumps in and is like, we're here for your really important, earnest moments in your life. So come here and we'll be earnest. And then like all of those commercials use up this sort of sincerity in our lives. So all that's left for the rest of us is, making fun of stuff and being really cynical about how everyone uses sincerity. So I mean, insincerity is all that's left for us. So I realize, like, I know what I sound like. I sound like I'm clueless, but I'm pretending not to be clueless about all this crap I'm totally not even qualified to talk about, really. This show is a mirror, but it's not a mirror. It's like a window, and I'm outside and hanging out, and you're looking at me through the window. Or you're looking at yourself. It's just that I get it. By which I mean this episode's just gonna be this like big sob fest where the lines are open. You can call if you want. Hey, you're on the phone. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you want?
Hey man, my name's Don. I just wanted to say I'm a long time listener. I just think what you're doing is really funny or whatever, and I just thought don't be so hard on yourself. It's not like you're a criminal. So you have a kind of a crummy podcast. It isn't about anything other than itself. And maybe it had a good opening. It was pretty good. I really like the one about the guy who worshipped the organ or the fungus, and he had an organ, and he was in Boston. I thought it was funny. But you couldn't. It's not like you did anything wrong because you couldn't keep that up. You're only human. I mean, it sounds, maybe you sound like you're a human man, you're a human boy. So I just wanted to say, keep up the good work. You got, what is this, episode 9? You got 41 more episodes, man. You'll get some good ones in there. I've been in this business a long time, and you just keep at it, and it'll be really funny.
Thanks, Don. I really needed to hear that because I just realized all of a sudden, like, that this podcast isn't, it's what a joke. Who is this clown? I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I just squinted, and I looked in the mirror into my eyes, and I was like, who is this jerk? Who is this son of a... And I just couldn't answer that question. I looked, and I just saw, I didn't see anything. I didn't see a human. I saw, like, a screen. I look in the mirror and I just see like this computer screen or like a TV screen or the movie theater screen. It's all just this big image. Everything is just one big image. Because after all, we can't decide. There's a difference between. I mean, we can't really say for certain. I mean, without our brain, I don't even want to get into all that stuff. It's just like I've just been like thinking about a lot of like really like. Just about all this stuff about psychics and what it means to be perceived and what it means to be cognized for an object, for a mental object to be cognized. What is it? How does it change? How does the very cognition of I'm not gonna bog you down into all this. I just wanted to thank you, Don, for taking time out to call into my show. If you want to call in, make sure you call in at the right number, because it's, I don't want anyone's phone number going to the wrong place, and I definitely don't want anyone, they're having dinner time with their family, and and then ring, and then you're like, hey, I'm on the radio, and they say, well, you got the wrong number, unfortunately, so it might be time for you to hang on up, or I'll hang up, either one of us, and it's just not the kind of thing I want to happen, and and I just thought it's just not the kind of show that people even want to call into, because it just stinks so much, and like everything is bad about it, or all the things that are bad about it suck, and one of the main things that I think people think bad about Flight of the 50 Fancies is that it's not any good, and then it doesn't get any hits. And like, why am I even pretending like it's such a, like anybody even has any kind of opinion about it? Because no one, it sucks so bad, no one even cares about it, no one even thinks anything about it. It's that bad. Like, at least if you know, like that fake critic guy had a couple episodes ago, like that was actually like really flattering. Like the very idea that someone would spend so much time thinking about my stuff is like actually a delusional self-flattery. And I realize that, and I know that you realized that long before I did. And not to pat myself on the back or anything. I guess I can't prove that, but my feeling is that you're smarter than I am, and everybody's smarter than me, and everybody thinks anything I do is wrong, and like it's late. I'm like late to the show, late to the party. Like what's the new thing? Whatever all the true people are doing, I'm just gonna copy off of it and snarkify it. Not because I'm actually snarky, but because I learned about snark, last week when everybody was finished with it for a few years ago, and and I know it's not the kind of another person like worried about like this kind of stuff. Like, get the hell out of here! Are you kidding me? And I know what I sound like. I just sound like I'm being super obnoxiously disingenuous. I know I'm saying the wrong thing, and nothing I can say will be right or funny. So just call in if you want to correct anything I'm saying. Any sort of aesthetic values that I'm pretending to have, if they're wrong, just let me know so I can change my fake opinion about them or whatever, and I'll just say something stupid or lame or some crap like that nonsense. And then, like, if you're gonna give me an apartment or hire me for a job or, buy one of my stories, if you're in a magazine, I see maybe you want one of my stories or something, you'll listen to this, or you won't. I think if you decide to listen to this, you'll say, what a loser, I don't think I want any of this nonsense in my house. If it does sound good to you, I mean, if you do not listen, which you probably won't, because why would you even bother? You'll be like, wow, this guy's podcast sucks so bad, I didn't even listen to it. It was so horrible that I didn't even begin even 1 second of it, which is why it sucks so bad. And if any of that happens, I'm sorry. You're right to make the decision to fire me, or not to hire me, because I won't work well because I have a podcast. My fiction won't be any good because this podcast blows, and I won't be good. I won't be a good roommate because I'm always on this stupid podcast trying to like get famous or something, because that's the only point of any of this stuff that I do is just trying to get famous because I feel like I deserve it, because I was encouraged all my life because I'm a white man, kind of that whole kind of deal. No one ever like discouraged me from doing anything, so I think I'm better than I actually am at stuff, and I think I know more than I actually do, and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to deal with any of that stuff, and when you come home after a hard day of work, you come home and you're like, oh, who's this guy? All he does is talk about his own mind, why doesn't he get off the horn for 2 seconds, and then we'll see if he's actually worth listening to. And, why would anyone want to have to deal with that when they come home after a hard day of work? Nobody would, and that's why it makes perfect sense that you wouldn't want to, nobody would want to do anything like that. And nobody would want to hire or do anything. This is the kind of podcast that just totally is just not, it's not right for, it's just not right. There's something wrong with it. I don't know what it is. It's probably because it's not about anything except itself, which is self-reflexive. And I had the fisherman guy on I was a fisherman. Surprise, it was me. There wasn't anyone, I don't know anyone in Halifax. But the fisherman guy said that he didn't like all the self-referential jokes and stuff, and he thought it would kind of murdered humility and the default humility which was actually pretty charitable that he even thought that this podcast began with any humility. It doesn't. It didn't have any ever to begin with, because I'm so full of myself that I think I'm awesome. And I think it doesn't make sense for all this and for people not to listen to my podcast, and I just assume they do. Even when I look at the number of views, and most of them are like, I think the most viewed one has like maybe 40 views or something, and like, so clearly this isn't the kind of podcast that like everybody's, like interested in. So obviously, like, I already know that it's like everyone knew that. You don't even have to know about this podcast to know it's not popular, because like I know that the things I don't know about and nobody knows about obviously aren't popular, so I know by default that any individual thing that I don't know about is unpopular. So, and it's like, who is this guy? Why does he even care about being popular or anything? Why does he care about, what is he, like 15 years old or something? No, it's actually worse than that. Why doesn't he just care about interviewing necromancers and stuff? And the reason is because I just hate the idea of oh man, look, all these people are, listening for 2 seconds and being like, whoa, this guy really thinks he's cool, but he's not. I know he's not, because I hear what he said, and it was really embarrassing, and I'm really embarrassed, and I can't even believe he put that online, where like literally his entire species, except the billions of people who he doesn't even realize don't even have the internet, because he thinks the whole world is the same as the first world, can listen to it. As long as they know English, they know that he is saying some stupid stuff. And I already know, it's stupid, and I just wanted to give this disclaimer that my whole show blows, and it doesn't even make any money, and I'm not even really I'm doing it for the money. It will make money. I mean, it might not. I mean, it won't. And I just totally know that I don't even want to do it anymore. I have to do 50 episodes, because it's called Flight of the 50 Fancies, and I promised everybody I had to do it, and I want to, but I hate this show, and I agree with you if you hate it, but if you like it, then I agree with you. As long as you like something, as long as you're not mad at me, then like I agree with whatever. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't think anything mean about me. I just want everyone to like me, but I guess it's impossible. So screw you. If you don't like me, then you suck. I hate you. But you're right about the show. It has a lot of problems, and it doesn't have any solutions, and it's just kind of like a total waste of energy. It's just like wasting all this electricity, and I just wasting all this stuff on the microphone, and I'm doing the wrong thing no matter what. And I know all this stuff. I know you're all thinking, you're all zero of you, because I suck and stuff, but it's not. It's true. You're right. How did you figure that out about everything? I'm sorry I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for what I'm doing. I did the wrong thing by having this podcast, and that's just the way. But I can't delete them because there's too much work. I got an important letter from this dude named Herman Jacoby. He says, "Dear Peter, love the show. I need you to read the following passage from this book that I just translated by Ganadhara Sudaraswami, called the Sutra Kirtanga." And this, he says here, it's Sutra Kirtanga, Book 2, Lecture 3, Knowledge of Food, Passage 1, or Text 1 through 2. Okay. And it says, "O long-lived Gambu Swamin, I Sudharman have heard the following discourse from the Venerable Mahavira. We now come to the lecture called Knowledge of Food. The contents of it are as follows. Here in the east, west, north, and south, there are, all in all, in the world 4 kinds of seed. Seeds generated at the top of the plant, at its root, at its knots, at its stem. According to the seed and place of growth of these plants, some beings, born in earth, originated in earth, and grown in earth, having in it their birth origin and growth being impelled by their karman, and coming forth in it on account of their karman, growing there in particles of earth, the origin of various things, come forth as trees. These living beings feed on the liquid substance of these particles of earth, the origin of various things. These beings consume earth bodies, water bodies, fire bodies, wind bodies, bodies of plants. They deprive of life the bodies of manifold movable and immovable beings, the destroyed bodies which have been consumed before, or absorbed by the rind, are digested and assimilated by them. And the bodies of these trees which bring forth their different parts are of manifold colors, smells, tastes, touches, forms, and arrangement of corporeal particles. These beings animating trees come into existence because of their karman. So we are taught by the Tirthankaras. Thanks, Herman. That was interesting. I feel like I probably need to study the Sutra Kirtanga to really get anything more than a kind of superficial understanding of it. So you've sent me on an interesting little, maybe a Google hole or something, or maybe I can find the Sutra Kirtanga at my library through an interlibrary loan, or on Amazon, maybe on the net, maybe through WorldCat. There's a lot of different options if you want to pick up the Sutra Kirtanga yourself to read and understand what it is that it is. Good night.